Alright, so I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a Ragnarok video, but you're gonna find out why in a second here. I ended up taking a massive break from the game because of what you'll see at the end of this video. But first, look at this. I don't know what this combination is. It's like a mix of twilight going into nighttime in the desert with a storm going off. It's got some beautiful, contrast with the red and the blue. I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool, which is why I wanted to open up with it. But anyway, leaving off from the last episode, I tamed up a Drakara, a couple of Mantis, a Dobermann, as well as an Equus. So it was time to head back home. It took quite a while, pretty much almost the whole day, in order to ride back, as I was on pretty much the opposite side of the world. Once I do get home, I situate everybody, and I start to place them where they'll be in my base. Now, the Mantis is what I really wanted. I managed to tame 3, but I really only needed 1, because remember, as I said in a previous episode, that the Ragnarok map used to be like a roleplay map for me back on Survival Evolved, and I used to have my main building over on these 2 little islands just off the coast of the jungle. I visited it not too long ago, and I saw how empty it was, and I've been getting that itch to just kind of build. So this first part of the video is going to be a little bit relaxed. I take my first Mantis out there because they are pretty much the kings of harvesting. You can give them a tool and they will harvest whatever you give them the tool of. So I give them the sickles, start clearing out some of the plants to get some fiber, I start clearing out trees with axes to get wood, and of course the picks with stone. Actually, I use just the axes to get pure stone rather than flint, and I use all that material that I build up to start making building items. Now, I also have a beaver there. I was going to use the beaver initially, but it has like almost no weight capacity, so what I do is I harvest with the Mantis, and I'll either build it in my inventory or place excess amount of items in a chest nearby and build as I need to. The first thing that I go to build is going to be the Great Bridge to connect the island to the mainland. I had one similar to this on my last server, only I don't remember if it was bigger or smaller. I know it was kind of similar. This pretty much will take up the rest of day 41. Now we're going to go into day 42 pretty soon here, but what I'm going to do is start building out the foundations for my village. Now initially this used to be just a big farmstead, and I had like crops everywhere. I had fields of ovis, as well as some other barnyard kind of like animals from different mods and stuff, but I decided to mix it up. Yes, I will have a farm, but I wanted to make it a village and looked kind of lived in. Though this building session did not last long, as halfway through, it decides to crash the game on me. Now right there, I'm actually going to show you the game crashing. This happened 3 more times during this building, so I don't know what is wrong with this spot in particular, because the rest of the map, I've not had really any issues. Maybe a stutter here and there, but really it's the Griffin dive and being underwater that will drop my frames, while this island in particular continuously keeps crashing my game. I continued for a little bit longer to build. You see me building a staircase because this area is a little bit tiered, so you have up on that platform, I have a little stair going down into the lower areas. I even start building some of the walls to the buildings that will make up the village, though it was shortly after that I crashed again for the second and the third time, and some of these times it did roll me back and I would lose progress. I was getting kind of sick and tired, so as you see it right there, that's how I'm going to leave it for a while. Now, going into day 43, I'm starting to really want to take on the boss. I've been saying that I've been wanting to take on the boss before day 30 or whatever I said earlier before, and it's already day 43, so I'm thinking we take on the boss by day 45. Now to do that, I am still missing some key components, namely Spinosaurus and Basiliosaur parts. Now, right now I'm looking for Spinosaurs, which happen to spawn in the rivers and the ponds in the jungle area, as well as some of the rivers throughout the rest of the map, though this is the better area to look for them. You're not going to see it here, but I do eventually find the last few Spinosaurs that I need to, though it takes quite a long time. Though once I am done looking for the Spinosaurs. It's really now just the Basilosaurs, which I've only found like 1 or 2 since I've started playing this map, so I'm really gonna have to dedicate into looking for them. But I now have a Dino Search mod, which is not really the best thing. I don't know if I'm using it correct because it almost has no radius of searching, and when it does, it only searches for some of the dinosaurs that are nearby and not all of them. So I think I'm just using it incorrectly, or it's just the wrong mod to use. But regardless, we're going to continue on into day 44, where I'll spend the day pretty much looking for those Basilosaurs. I also upgraded my storage area right there, so you see I have the larger storage units, I have them all labeled. Yeah, I like to keep organized, that's just kind of my thing, and the more boxes I have, the more I have to make sure that they're organized properly. Now then, I hop onto my hammerhead shark. I actually don't know how to pronounce what the creature itself is called, but he is from a mod. I tamed him, I believe, in the last episode. It's been a while since I've seen the last episode, I'm just kind of editing this as I go. But into the sunrise, we are looking for the Basilosaurs, and you see one right there that I hunt down. That's the first one. I still need 2 more, or 3 more rather, after I defeat this one. Now, these things are rare, and I did have a tough time trying to find them, same as the Spinosaurs. So I take a quick break, and I hop over to this island, which is a brand new island for the Ascended version of the Ragnarok map. It didn't exist on the Evolved version. Now, there wasn't really much to the island. I saw a couple of Brontosaurs, there was raptors, and a couple of Diplodocus and stuff. It was kind of cool because there was a 3-way river that kind of met in the middle of the island, and I thought, oh, it would be kind of cool to roleplay out like 3 different factions with the rivers kind of dividing up the land. I don't know, I just like to think of stuff like that as I explore, but I jump back into the water, hop back onto my mount, and I use the Dino Finder in order to find the last couple of Basilosaurs. Now, these are going to be the last few that I need, and actually I get a little bit more blubber than I need by the end of this. So after that, I will be completely ready to take on the boss in terms of having all of the materials. Still, before we take on the boss, I do want to do some prep. So right there, I'm killing the last one, but I'm going to have to go and tame out another honeybee in order to get some honey to make some more vegetable cakes. If you didn't know, vegetable cakes are healing items for herbivores. Now, there's not really a meat eater or carnivore equivalent for healing those kind of dinosaurs. I'm just going to give my guys prime meat, but before I can go and harvest all of that, I decided to take on this treasure map. I have not done this before. This is going to be the first one. It is from a DLC, so you have to have the paid DLC in order to do it. I got it at discount, so I just kind of bought all of them that were available. Use the shovel, dig up the treasure chest, and it basically acts like a loot box, which can have a varying degree of loot quality items in there. Now then, as you see, I'm going to be going and taming a second giant honeybee. I've got my ghillie suit, I've got the insect repellent, so I'm ready to go. It didn't take long because in the grizzled woods, there are plenty of honeybees to go around. So I tame one up and I head back home and put it right next to the first one that I had tamed a couple of episodes ago. I gather the honey from there in order to start making my vegetable cakes, and I pretty much spend the rest of the day making potions, vegetable cakes, as well as other food in order to buff myself up and prepare for the boss fight. Now, as I said before, I still need to get some prime meat for the meat eaters that are going to be in my army. The vegetable cakes will take a while to cook up anyway, so I gather my giant hyena that I had tamed from the desert a little while ago, and I use one of my dragons in order to fly him to this island. Now, this island is the one that's just off the coast of the plains. There's not a lot of carnivores that are here. They can spawn, definitely, but it's not as common, and there's really a lot of larger herbivores and higher tiered ones like that Brontosaur, as even Stegosaurs, which are great candidates for dropping the prime meat. Now, that one didn't give me a lot, but don't worry, plenty more to go around, including the baby ones, which are easy pickings. I use the Hyenodon in order to harvest it because he's got a better harvesting. Also, he has the meat pack, so it won't spoil nearly as fast, and I can keep it fresh for much longer. It also helps that I have a mod called the Prime Meat Stacked Items or something like that, which allows me to stack prime meat as well as other types of meat that usually in the base game would be just single pieces, which I don't know why it's like like that. I really hate that, so I recommend anybody to get that prime meat stackable mod because it's really a godsend. Now then, I get all of my dinos ready. I prep them out front in front of my base in order to make sure that I have everyone that I am going to bring. I'm going to need a lot of my heavy hitters in order to fight this boss. I also bring a Deodon, which will be my healer, so he's going to be healing for me. I've got the Allosaur that I don't really know why I have one, I just have one. I've got my Trike, I've got my Buffalo, which are kind of tanky but also hit pretty hard. I've got my giant Megapithecus, and I'm also going to be bringing one of my Mantis, which I'll equip with some swords, as well as my Dinosuchus, which is also a big DPSer. So now that I've got my army ready, it was time to head over to the Blue Obelisk. Luckily, it's not too far. Now, the Drakara is not going to be part of my army. I have him because I need to go back and get the vegetable cakes. I'm leaving them in the base for right now so they don't spoil in my inventory because they do have a limited time that they can stay fresh. So once I got everyone in place, I use the Drakara to fly back, get the vegetable cakes, and I also divide it in my inventory so I can evenly distribute it out. I also gather my health potions as well as some food that will give me some buffs so that I am ready for this fight. Now then, as you're gonna see here, because the fight ends up not really taking place, so I'm gonna explain here while you watch the footage of me going into the arena and you'll see what happens. So basically, I get all of my stuff ready and make sure everyone has their items equipped, and I am pretty much ready to go. I use the key items in order to teleport into the arena, and what happens is it spawns me off of my mount at first. I hop back onto my mount, as you'll see here in a second, and then I ride off into the arena. Now, I had forgotten to do something, so I thought I could hop off of my mount really quick to do that thing, and then hop back on it. However, in that time, you'll see here now, as I hop off of the Megapithecus, the ice worms, because the fight had already started and I had not realized that, the dragon boss summons these ice worms and they pretty much two-shot me. I am not even joking, you'll see right now. So I hop off the Megapithecus. I don't remember what it was for. I remember I wanted to do something and I did not realize that the fight had started. As I hopped off, the ice worms pop out of the ground. It hits me once and completely destroys one of my armor pieces. The second bite absolutely one-shots me, even though I was almost full health. You'll see I paused there because I panicked. I didn't know what was going on. And then that's it. I'm just dead. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to Ark, there is no second chances. If you die and there's no other humans in the arena, every dinosaur that is in the arena absolutely just gets wiped. That's it. They're dead. So, as you saw there, everyone I had brought is dead. No second chances. All because I hopped off my mount for 1 second and the ice worms two-shot me. So, yeah, now you see why I haven't played in a while, because all of that preparation, 40 days, more than 40 days of gathering materials, building my army, I was just absolutely livid. I tried to roll back the server. I alt F4 to see if maybe it would roll me back. I tried to bring up a previous save. I tried everything I could because I thought that was absolutely ridiculous, and nothing worked. So, unfortunately, this is my save now, so I will continue with this. I'm not going to end this playthrough just yet because I do want to defeat that dragon, but I am taking a break from Ragnarok, you know, understandably, because, you know, I just need that break. But anyway, I actually have played a little bit since then. I've, you know, kind of gone around and done my loot crate gathering as I did before when I had died to the Ice Worm Queen, and I'm just trying to get my gear back. I've also retamed some of the creatures. You'll see this in the next episode, but I've retamed a couple of creatures that I lost. I think I retamed a Dinosuchus, another Megapithecus, as well as some new creatures that I didn't have before. So you'll see that eventually in the next episode. I need to play it a little bit longer before I can fully edit out another episode, but until then, I will see you next time.